There's a reason why your messages get ignored, left unread, or barely spark a reaction. And it's not because you're boring, unworthy, or doing something wrong in a traditional sense. It's because most men, without even realizing it, completely misunderstand the psychology behind attraction and emotion when it comes to texting. It's not about being polite, being consistent, or checking in. It's not about throwing out cheesy compliments or asking the same recycled questions every other guy sends her daily. It's about becoming the kind of man whose presence lingers even through a screen. The kind of man she thinks about hours after the conversation ends. The kind of man who knows how to plant emotional seeds that sprout in her mind at midnight when she's scrolling through old messages or staring at the ceiling wondering what you're doing. Most guys text like customer service reps, available on demand, polite to a fault, and always ready to help. But the truth is, attraction doesn't grow in politeness. It grows in curiosity, tension, and unpredictability. You need to be the plot twist, not the background character. Because when you text a woman with the energy of someone trying to maintain a polite conversation, you strip away the very element that makes texting powerful, emotion. And not just any emotion, emotional movement. Just like a roller coaster, the human brain is addicted to highs, lows, anticipation, and surprise. And if your messages feel like a straight road with no turns, no climbs, and no drops, she'll check out. Now let's be clear. This isn't about manipulating anyone. This is about understanding that human beings, especially in romantic dynamics, are wired for tension and release, for curiosity and resolution, for feeling something that jolts them out of their digital haze. Think about how you get hooked on your favorite Netflix show. It's not because every episode is predictable, it's because the story keeps you on your toes. Every message you send should be part of a story she wants to keep reading, and that starts with the unfinished story method. When you tell someone, "I had the craziest thing happen today," and then you immediately explain it, the mystery vanishes. But if you say, "I had the craziest thing happen today, but I'll tell you later," you've opened a loop in her brain. That's the Zeigarnik effect in action, a psychological principle that says people remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. It's the same reason cliffhangers work. It's the same reason we binge-watch shows. Our minds need closure, and if you deny closure temporarily, you become mentally sticky. She'll keep thinking about what you said because you didn't finish the story. You created tension, then walked away. And this works not just through text, but in person. If she asks you a basic question like, "What do you do for fun?" don't say, "I like reading, traveling, and hiking." Say, "It's kinda hard to explain. You'd have to see it to get it." And then leave it at that. Make her want the answer. Make her lean forward. Attraction lives in that forward-leaning energy. But don't stop there. Layer in the emotional roller coaster. Women don't get addicted to nice guys. They get addicted to the feelings that unpredictable men create. So instead of being consistent to the point of monotony, mix it up. One day you're playful and teasing, the next you disappear and then reappear with something deeply personal or mysterious. One message is funny, the next has a bit of emotional depth. It's this movement that triggers her emotional engagement. If she says she loves sushi, don't say "me too." Say, "Wow, sushi." That's such a safe choice. I thought you'd be a little more daring. Now she's thinking about how to prove you wrong. You've challenged her, created tension, and invited play. If she flirts, don't immediately fall into her rhythm. Say, "You're trouble, aren't you?" And then shift the topic. Keep her guessing. Keep her engaged. This is how you build emotional gravity. And here's where most guys fumble the ball. When a woman starts to pull back, they chase harder. She takes 3 hours to respond. He replies in 3 seconds. She sends a dry message. He sends a paragraph trying to rekindle the fire, but all that does is kill the very dynamic that makes attraction work. When she pulls back, you should mirror and multiply. She takes 3 hours to reply. You take 6. She says, "Cool." You say, "LOL." You don't punish her. You just match her level of investment. Because if your attention is too easily won, it loses all value. Think about it. If diamonds were lying around in the streets, no one would care about diamonds. Scarcity creates value. And that's where the reverse chase strategy becomes so powerful. Instead of rewarding low effort with more attention, you reward high effort with selective attention. It's the same principle casinos use: intermittent reinforcement. You don't get a reward every time, so your brain becomes more hooked trying to chase it. If you reply sometimes with warmth and sometimes with playful distance, if you disappear and then drop back in with something emotionally engaging, you create a variable reward system. She doesn't know what's coming, and that uncertainty drives obsession. And if she starts chasing you, sending long messages, asking questions, escalating the emotional tone, that's when you give her more. You reinforce what you want more of. Attraction is built in patterns, not logic. And once you understand the pattern of mystery, emotion, and selective attention, you can make a woman feel things over text that she rarely feels in real life. And she'll associate those feelings with you. Now let's talk about power dynamics. Most guys enter a texting conversation with the mindset of hoping to keep her attention, but the real power move is to make her earn yours. This doesn't mean being arrogant or withholding. It means holding yourself in high value. It means believing that your time, your attention, and your energy are worth pursuing. When you send a message, it's not to check in, it's to invite her into your world, a world of play, mystery, depth, and emotional tension. A world where she doesn't just read your messages, she feels them. That's the difference between being another notification and being the one she waits for. And when you master this, when you start creating that emotional rhythm in every interaction, you become magnetic. You stop worrying about who's replying or who's pulling away. You create a gravitational pull that brings the right people to you, naturally. Because here's the truth, texting is just a modern arena for ancient emotions. It's still about the chase, the story, the pull and release. It's still about power and vulnerability, mystery and connection. And if you can create that dynamic, even in a few words, you'll never be the guy asking, "Why did she stop replying?" You'll be the guy she texts late at night when she can't sleep. The guy she tells her friends about. The guy she thinks about when she hears a certain song, smells a familiar scent, or walks past the spot where you shared that first story you never finished. So the next time you pick up your phone, remember, you're not just sending a message, you're starting a story, you're setting a tone, you're creating emotion, and that is the true power of texting done right. Because once you understand that texting is not just communication, it's a stage, a performance, a carefully tuned emotional dance, you begin to move differently. You're no longer reacting, you're leading. You're no longer trying to impress, you're inviting her to be intrigued. Every message becomes a micro-narrative, a breadcrumb leading her deeper into a story where you are the protagonist, not the background character trying to win her approval. And here's the part that most men never truly grasp. Attraction isn't built on logic, it's built on contrast. You need to show range, emotional versatility, the ability to make her laugh, make her curious, make her feel safe, and slightly challenged all in the same breath. Think about a movie character you couldn't forget. The hero who had edge but also vulnerability. That's what sticks in the memory. In texting, it means sometimes sending a message that's playful and then later dropping a more reflective or thoughtful text that catches her off guard in the best way. For example, you could tease her with something like, "You totally strike me as the type who sings Taylor Swift in the shower with full dramatic flair." Then later say something like, "I passed this street musician earlier, and for some reason it reminded me of you. No idea why, but it was this strange moment that kinda lingered." Now you've taken her on a ride, from laughter to mystery to emotional curiosity. That's range, that's gravity. Because the truth is, most guys never take her there. Most guys play it safe, stay surface level, and wonder why she ghosts them after a few days of small talk. But the men who can create an emotional world, those are the men she chases, dreams about, and can't forget. And this brings us to one of the most powerful principles in the game of attraction: emotional anchoring. When you create strong emotional experiences, good or even slightly tense ones, your presence becomes associated with those feelings. So when she feels something intense with you, whether it's laughter, butterflies, nervous anticipation, or even a little jealousy, her brain anchors those feelings to you. Later, when she feels that same emotion from a movie or a memory, she thinks of you. This is the secret behind emotional addiction. It's not about always being positive or perfect. It's about being memorable. And to be memorable, you need to be different. Don't talk like the others. Don't behave like the others. If she says every guy sends good morning texts, stop doing that.